Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers announced signing strong finishing linemen with mean streak. The Pittsburgh Steelers added more offensive line depth with former 7th-round pick Nick Broeker on Wednesday. The Steelers announced the signing on their social media accounts and on the official team website. Broeker agreed to come to Pittsburgh on a one-year deal. The Buffalo Bills drafted Broeker in the 7th round of the 2023 NFL Draft. He was the number 230 overall selection. Although he was always projected to be a potential late selection, multiple analysts hyped Broeker as a strong finisher with his blocks during the draft process. Overall, Nick Broeker is a strong run blocker who will thrive best in a man-blocking/duo scheme that relies less on zone blocks, his draft analysis from Steelers Depot said. He's a finisher who plays with an edge and mean streak, and overall, his technique is good, though he'll need to consistently fire his hands inside. NFL.com's Lance Zierlein labeled Broeker with very strong hands and added that he consistently works to finish his blocks. Broeker never played for the Bills. Buffalo released the lineman on roster cutdown day in 2023. But a day later, Broeker joined the Houston Texans. With the Texans, Broeker appeared in 3 games during his rookie season. He dressed for 9 contests during 2024. The Steelers lost 3 offensive linemen this offseason: left tackle Dan Moore Jr., guard James Daniels, and interior lineman Nate Herbig. All of those linemen made starts for the Steelers from 2023 to 24. Broeker is unlikely to find himself in the starting lineup for Pittsburgh this fall, but his arrival continues to help the Steelers replenish their offensive line depth. In 12 games with the Texans, Broeker mostly played special teams. As a rookie, he lined up for 13 special team snaps. Then last season, Broeker had 40 snaps on the unit. Broeker also played 9 offensive snaps in 12 contests for Houston. 6 of those snaps came last season. During college, Broeker spent 4 years at Ole Miss, Mississippi. He began his college career as an offensive tackle, but very successfully transitioned to guard. An All-SEC guard as a senior at Ole Miss in 2022, Broeker began his college career as a tackle, Tribliv.com's Chris Adamski wrote. He has played both positions in the pros, albeit with most of his game experience coming during the preseason. Broeker has just 9 regular season snaps on offense, though he has played extensively on special teams. The Steelers added Broeker with off-season workouts set to begin next week. At those workouts, Broeker will likely compete with Spencer Anderson, Max Sharping, Aiden Williams, Ryan McCullum, and Stephen Jones for the depth interior offensive line spots on the Steelers roster. 2024 second-rounder Zach Frazier, who played very well as a rookie, will return to start at center for Pittsburgh. Isaac Simolo and Mason McCormick are expected to start at guard. Former first-rounders Broderick Jones and Troy Fautanu should bookend the Steelers' offensive line at the 2 tackle positions. But who'll serve in the key depth roles behind those 5 starters is uncertain. Calvin Anderson, Dylan Cook, Doug Nestor, and Gareth Warren are the other linemen on the Steelers' offseason roster. That means, in all likelihood, Broeker will compete with 9 other offensive linemen for 2 or 3 depth lineman spots. After signing Broeker, the Steelers also still have 1 more open roster spot they can fill this offseason. Can wear a ton of different hats. Max Hurlman says he tried out at 3 different positions with Steelers. Coming out of college after time at both Colgate and Notre Dame, Max Hurlman brought quite a bit of experience and versatility to Pittsburgh Steelers' rookie minicamp a few weeks ago. He played running back at Colgate and then returned punts and played cornerback at Notre Dame in his 1 season with the Fighting Irish. So, he had the experience wearing multiple different hats on a football field. Ultimately, that helped him land a job with the Steelers, who signed the Pennsylvania native after rookie minicamp, making him one of the few players who parlayed the tryout into a job. Appearing on the Ross Tucker Football podcast Thursday morning, Hurlman stated that he played multiple positions during the tryout with the Steelers, showcasing that versatility that impressed GM Omar Khan and head coach Mike Tomlin enough to land him a job. Talking to Tucker, Hurlman revealed how he ended up working at multiple positions. I showed up on the first day, and Coach Tomlin comes up to me and he says, "We're going to start you out at running back. Is that all right with you?" And obviously I say yes, but I hinted at the fact that, hey, I can do other things as well. Hurlman said, according to video via the show's YouTube page. So, as the weekend progresses with this mini camp stuff, it's the summer's coming around, it's getting hot, so guys kind of go down here and there. I ended up playing mostly running back at the rookie minicamp, but I took snaps at receiver as well. And I even ended up doing a little defensive back indie drill, doing some backpedal stuff. Hurlman started his collegiate career at Colgate as a running back and rushed for 814 yards and a touchdown on 194 carries across 4 seasons. He made the switch to wide receiver for the 2023 season and hauled in 28 passes for 273 yards and 2 touchdowns, all while handling punt and kick return duties. After the 2023 season, Hurlman transferred to Notre Dame, where he then switched to defensive back while still holding down a role as a punt returner and playing on special teams. With Notre Dame, he recorded 13 tackles and had 1 fumble recovery. Along with his work defensively and on special teams in coverage, Hurlman had 23 punt returns for 138 yards. His work at Notre Dame put him on the map for leagues at the next level, including the NFL. During Notre Dame's Pro Day, Hurlman checked in at 5,107, 200 pounds, and ran a 4.68 40-yard dash with a 36-inch vertical, 9 feet 11 inches broad, and 6.963 cone, while also recording 13 reps on the bench press. That was enough to garner attention from the Steelers, who had a large contingent at the Notre Dame Pro Day, like usual. Though the Steelers didn't sign Hurlman as an undrafted free agent, they invited him for a tryout during rookie minicamp, and to Hurlman's credit, he took advantage of the opportunity. I obviously crushed a lot of the special team stuff, which is a big reason why I'm there, he said. Special teams is important. But even once I signed, I said, "Hey, what position are you foreseeing me as?" And the response is, "We don't know, but we like you." So not sure if that's a good or bad thing, but I guess I can wear a ton of different hats. How the tryout at 3 positions came about was just due to attrition. Guys were going down in the heat throughout practices, and Hurlman was there to step up and grab the opportunity. He explained that receiver came about naturally as he worked in individuals at receiver early, and then when the teams went into 7-on-7 drills, guys got hurt, and wide receivers coach Zach Azzanni wanted to see him at receiver. I didn't know the plays, mind you, but the receiver coach basically stood by my hip, broke out of the huddle with me. He's like, "Come on, line up here. You got this route. And the entire day, that's what we did," Hurlman said. And it was chaotic, but it was kind of awesome. After that experience getting work at receiver, Hurlman then taught himself receiver that night. But the next day when he came back in, he said that Tomlin told him he'd have 2 jerseys in his locker and that he needed to bring both to the field because Tomlin wanted to see him backpedal at cornerback. And so the 3rd day I did DB individual drills, just some box drills and reaction, backpedaling, break coming out of your breaks, and I think I did well with that. And then the entire weekend I was catching punts and doing special team stuff. But it was really cool to do a lot of different things, Hurlman said. And on that last day doing defensive back drills, I could feel a lot of eyes on me, and I felt like that was the make or break moment. I guess I did a good job. So it all worked out, but it was kind of a chaotic weekend. I did a little bit of everything. The Steelers announced Hurlman as a running back, much like he was at Colgate, but based on him getting work at receiver, some individual drills at defensive back, and plenty of opportunities on special teams, there's a path for Hurlman to try and carve out. Pittsburgh liked him enough to give him a shot this offseason. Now he has to continue to take the opportunity in front of him and run with it, all while leaning into his versatility. The more you can do, the better, especially with rosters capped at 53 entering the season and practice squads at 16. That type of versatility could help Hurlman stick around longer than just getting an off-season contract with the Steelers. Check out the full interview with Hurlman on the Ross Tucker Football podcast below. Aaron Rodgers no longer contemplating decision to join Steelers. After watching the Pittsburgh Steelers fail to select a top-tier quarterback in the 2025 NFL Draft, opting instead to acquire Will Howard out of Ohio State in the 6th round, Aaron Rodgers rapidly became QB option number 1 for the AFC North stalwart. On paper, it makes sense, right? The free agent market is borderline dried up other than the Green Bay Packers legend, and with the draft passed, the Steelers would likely be forced to go with a QB room headlined by players like Howard and Mason Rudolph, unless they could swing a huge trade over the next few months. Fortunately, Rodgers hasn't closed the door on the Steelers or his chances of playing for the team this fall, even if he's more focused on getting his own ducks in a row before signing with the Steelers or any other team, as he explained on the Joe Rogan Experience. I've figured out the last year, when I've been in the weeds with these people who are close to me that have cancer. I'm in a serious relationship. I have off-the-field stuff going on that requires my attention. I have personal commitments I have made. I have a couple of people in my inner circle who are battling some difficult stuff. So, I have a lot of things that are taking my attention, Aaron Rodgers explained via Sporting News. Because the conversations have been had. There's no more contemplation. I'm taking care of my people right now, and I'm taking care of my personal life responsibilities, and I'm keeping the conversation open as well. Is it an ideal situation for the Steelers to be in the dark about their quarterback of the future, having to listen to the Joe Rogan Experience to get hints about his thought process? No, clearly not, but for one reason or another, that's where the Steelers find themselves. With both New York teams signing their former signal callers in free agency, Omar Khan was forced to return to Rudolph as a stopgap.